Welcome to Will It Work? I am Kevin, and today we are looking at the Timetop handy game. That's what I believe this is. It's not branded that anywhere. I don't know where that name came from, but basically Timetop was this interesting company based out of, I think, Hong Kong or Taiwan. I think Hong Kong. And they developed Game King, which takes unique cartridges that Timetop apparently developed. And then they released Game King 2, which was basically just a case redesign. It had this weird sort of, like when you turned it on and no game was inserted, it displayed a sort of color splash screen of sorts. But the games remained in black and white. It played the same original games from the Game King. It just kind of had more of a PSP style design, I think, to appeal to that market. At some point, they released Game King 3. I have never seen one. I saw someone selling one online once for $25,000, which they're never going to get that. But that was also on a Hong Kong eBay page, and the thing is that seemed almost like a scam or something. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I know that it exists. I've seen people talk about it, etc. But it's very vague. It's very kind of out there on Game King 3. For instance, like, I'm never quite sure that there's titles for Game King 3 that are exclusive to Game King 3. Because Game King 3 is in color, and I think it can take the original titles from the Game King, but these color games, I don't know if they're built into the system, if they come on their own cartridge. It's a mystery. And why are there so few of them? I mean, it could have not sold very well. I know it was only supposedly released in its domestic market, and that was some years ago. But I mean, we see lots of obscure things, especially on this series, of game systems that didn't have very big runs, and it's surprising to me that Game King 3 didn't materialize. Now, or maybe they were just in prototype form and they never really went anywhere with it. I don't know what the whole story is. Now, there is a Game King 3 that's branded out of like Hungary or Poland or something. I don't know exactly where. That's basically like this handy game that you're seeing here, but they put Game King 3 on it. But that's not an actual Game King 3. So Game King 3 is a bit of a mystery. Game King 2 is a variant to me. I have a Game King, I don't want one. And then after that, they released this system here, this handy game, which we're going to look at. Timetop also went on to do some Wii type stuff and release some clone systems, although in both cases of those systems that I've seen out in the wild, I'm not sure that those were actually sold by Timetop, or someone was just, putting Timetop's name on it in order to make it easier to sell in their particular markets. It's totally possible it was Timetop. The thing is that when you get to these later systems with the Timetop name, Timetop designed their own games, and so it's kind of unusual that they would have just decided, hey, let's just buy clone systems and slap our name on it and sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe. But the thing is the company did get dissolved. It went out of business at some point, so it would have been easy for somebody to take their name and reuse it. So don't know if that's a big deal, because I think most common people, at least in the United States, have no idea who Timetop even was. I barely knew who they were, and I still don't quite know everything about them. They're a bit obscure. So this system, it does have a cartridge style port, to focus here, of some kind on the top, and it is supposed to be, there are supposed to be cartridges available for it. I have read that it has a TV out, so we could look at the video out on this and see what that's like. And it has a number of built-in games, which is primarily what people ended up doing, is buying this to play the built-in games. And it says it's like, I forget, like 25-1 or something. But these were all different levels of the same game, depending on... Okay, we're looking at Timetop Super Game here, which is actually what people call the handy game. It's a Timetop system. It says 25-1, but in actuality, I think it's only like 5 games or something, and each one is like just a different level. Each level, so it's like M Gate, Ghost, and M Sword, Magic Kid, Firebolt, and Annihilator, and then it's like S Cavas, F-16 Plane, Flyer, Stone Age, Pry, Human. Like each one is like a different level. That's what it is. So it's like this is one game, this is one game, this is one game, etc. And it does look to take cartridges. I don't own the cartridge, as I mentioned, but we could look at... let's look at Annihilator here. Stage 2. And really, this could be considered like, for all intents and purposes, Game King 4. I believe it came out after Game King 3. And for whatever reason, they decided not to use the Game King branding on it. Game over. We can hit reset here. Timetop Super Game. At least as far as I know, you know. I'm not going to try and figure this all out like it's a good Stone Age. Like Fred Flintstone kind of thing. So we got a club. It's 2 buttons. Woo! Most of these, like, rather simple 8-bit or 16-bit style titles, they lack a lot of the tricks that were used in the Genesis and Super NES era of 16-bit, or even, you know, TurboGrafx 16. In the sense of, you know, the raster tricks and the things they were doing with the different modes. Most of these games are just simple, you know, background sprites. You know, a few sprites, scrolling, some background, and, you know, they make various games out of that. Which is also, you know, fairly easy to develop for, because you're not trying to do anything really tricky and get things into a memory space that's limited, or etc. You know, to make giant boss battles and, you know, tentacle monsters and everything else. See if I can get out of here. So I'm curious about at this point.
Anyway, I'm not going to play all the games on it, but this is the Timetop handy game. It's fairly obscure, but you can find it every so often pop up on eBay or whatever. Yep, not much more to say about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.